What is going on, guys? What is going on, 27 squad? Welcome back into another video. And listen, I know the lighting is pretty bad right now. I didn't have time to get my setup right now, but I did want to talk about DeAndre Baker and how we're going to replace DeAndre Baker. As you guys know, he has a warrant out for his arrest for armed robbery, so you can imagine that the New York Giants aren't going to keep him around if they got rid of Janoris Jenkins for a tweet. But yeah, and there were some things I wanted to clean up in that video I made about DeAndre Baker. Yes, I get DeAndre Baker had some character issues before he was drafted, and yes, Quentin Dunbar is a Seattle Seahawk, not a Washington Redskin anymore. I completely didn't even remember that he was a Seattle Seahawk. Today I want to talk about possible replacements, how we're going to replace DeAndre Baker. As you guys know, he's coming into his second season in the NFL, and listen, he didn't have a good rookie season. He showed some flashes, but definitely could have been better as a first round pick. In my opinion, Eli Apple was probably a better cornerback as a rookie. But how are we going to place DeAndre Baker? He's still the starter. He's the second outside corner on the roster, just behind James Bradbury. And so let's look at some possible names that can replace DeAndre Baker. So first and foremost, we're going to talk about the Giants already on the roster. And listen, this is a next man up type of mentality that the Giants need to take here. DeAndre Baker is gone. You have to have the next guy step up. Corey Ballentine, this is definitely an opportunity for him. Now listen, the slot cornerback spot is going to be a huge competition between Grant Haley, maybe even Julian Love, and Darnay Holmes, who we just drafted with our 4th round pick. Corey Ballentine has an opportunity to try to play outside corner. He did well in the preseason playing outside corner, and he played that in college. He's more slated as a slot corner, being that he has a smaller frame. But Corey Ballentine is athletic enough to try to get things done on the outside. He has an opportunity to step up, as well as Chris Williamson, the rookie we drafted out of, out of Minnesota. He's more so a slot corner as well, but this is another next man up type of thing, man. They have an opportunity to compete there, and I think everybody's going to be given that opportunity. So right off the bat, Corey Ballentine and Chris Williamson, the smaller corners, are going to get an opportunity to play there. And in my opinion, I'm going to give Corey Ballentine a fair shot if he is to, if he grows as a cornerback. Next up, the more obvious answer is probably Sam Beal. We're probably going to put him at outside corner, but I don't imagine Sam Beal even staying there for long because he's always hurt. As a lot of people say, he's a walking injury. Sam Beal is always hurt, and I don't imagine he is going to stay healthy throughout the season or even throughout the preseason for that matter. He's probably the guy that's going to be slated at the outside cornerback position to replace DeAndre Baker, but I don't imagine that he is going to be there the whole season. And I also want to preface that DeAndre Baker is probably going to be on the commissioner exempt list and not exactly cut from the New York Giants, but he will not play. I'm going to say that's a definite that he will not play for the Giants. He will probably still be a Giant under contract, and the Giants may not be able to keep the money that they're paying him, but either way, he will not be playing for the Giants. Next up, we have the long shots to talk about. Drayvon Askew-Henry, the cornerback that came from the New York Guardians. He's also former Pittsburgh Steeler as well. This is a guy I'm giving a fair shot to make the roster too. He played pretty well for the Guardians. A lot of people are excited for Askew-Henry, and I think he's a sleeper guy, but I just, who knows? Sam Beal being hurt, he may even get the chance to be our starting outside corner, but I don't really see him making that push, if we do get another free agent or trade for a cornerback. But I'm gonna give him a fair shot if the Giants don't address the cornerback position. Also, there's Christian Angulo too, the undrafted free agent corner we signed, who I really like, a guy that really has a knack for covering the deep ball, and a guy that really knocks down a lot of balls and gets a lot of passes defensed. He's a guy to look for as well. He's a guy you definitely need to be looking at in the preseason. So I want to talk about 4 names that the Giants can potentially sign to replace DeAndre Baker. Now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of things. So let's start off with Trumaine Johnson, the former New York Jet and Los Angeles Ram. Trumaine Johnson signed a 5-year, $72.5 million deal with the New York Jets just a couple of years ago, and it did not work out. Now at the age of 30 years old, Trumaine Johnson is looking for another team. He's definitely not the player he was with the Rams, but I think he is a serviceable cornerback that we can use there. So he is a possibility. I don't imagine he's going to get anywhere near that 5-year, $72 million deal, or that average amount of money. But I don't, like I said, I don't imagine he's going to get anywhere near that deal. He's going to have to lower it down a little bit, especially that he hit the age of 30. That magic age of 30 for cornerbacks is a very crucial one. So I don't imagine he's going to get paid the same amount, but he is a possibility. Next up, we have Darqueze Dennard. Now, he was supposed to sign with the Jacksonville Jaguars, but that fell apart. He was supposed to sign a 3-year, $13.5 million deal, and in my opinion, he's probably the guy I'm targeting the most. He's a serviceable cornerback. He's a guy you could sign for 1 to 2 years and not ask for a lot of money. You know, he was supposed to sign a 3-year, $13.5 million deal. That's just about $4 million a year, just over $4 million a year. I would be willing to pay that for a starting corner that's serviceable until you grab somebody else. Quick little editor's note, one name I did forget to mention was Logan Ryan, who was supposed to sign, I guess he was supposed to sign with the New York Jets. I don't know. That's what everybody was saying. Now he's still a free agent. I guess he expressed that he wanted to be a New York Jet or something like that, or he's interested. But he's another name to throw out there, as well as the guy that played well with the Titans and played well with the New England Patriots. I don't imagine he's going to get like a $10 million contract now that, you know, free agency is pretty much done and he still hasn't been signed. So we'll see what happens, but Logan Ryan is another name to throw out there. Next up, we have another former Cincinnati Bengal other than Darqueze Dennard, and that is the cornerback Dre Kirkpatrick. He is also 30 years old as well, and he's not very good. I mean, I believe he's a former first-round pick, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's been serviceable with the Cincinnati Bengals, and he's another guy you could bring in for just a 1-year deal, just until you could replace that cornerback spot with another cornerback, maybe in the draft or a big free agent. But we have James Bradbury, so it's not like we're looking for a number 1 guy. Dre Kirkpatrick, if we want to get really cheap, can fill in that role for the New York Giants. And the next name I'm going to mention is a familiar face, a familiar name, the last cornerback we drafted in the first round, and that is Eli Apple. He was supposed to sign with the Las Vegas Raiders, and that deal fell apart as well. And now he is a free agent, and he could sign with the New York Giants to fill in that role. Like I said, Eli Apple, it's because the New York media, we really made him sound worse than he is. He definitely played a lot better with the New Orleans Saints than any of his years with the New York Giants. He is a serviceable cornerback. He's not a guy that's completely going to be destructive for you like a B.W. Webb is, or an Antonio Hamilton who's still on the team. But when it comes to Eli Apple, he's not the first round pick. He's not the number 10 overall guy that you expected, but he's still a serviceable cornerback in this league, and I think he will be fine to be signed for a year or two under contract with the New York Giants until we can get him replaced. So that is my possible replacement for DeAndre Baker. Let me know your possible replacements in the comment section below. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new. I'll see you guys in the next video.